Okay, today we're going to start looking at the idea of trigonometric identities. And so first we have to have an idea what an identity is. An identity is just a mathematical equation that's true for all the values of the variable for which both sides are defined. So as long as we can put any number in there, and we're going to get a true expression. So trigonometric identities are just identities that contain trigonometric functions. We've already come across some trigonometric identities in our earlier study of trigonometry, such as the reciprocal identities of sine of theta is 1 over cosecant theta, and likewise cosecant theta is 1 over sine theta. For cosine, we have cosine theta is 1 over secant theta, and secant theta 1 over cosine theta. Tangent theta is 1 over cotangent, and cotangent theta 1 over tangent. And we've also made reference to the quotient identities in our previous study of tangent theta is sine theta over cosine theta, and cotangent theta is cosine theta over sine theta. So we're already familiar with those identities, and we can use those then in several ways to work with some trigonometry. So let's take a look. If we know the cosine of theta is 3/4, we want to find the secant theta. So we know that cosine theta is equal to 1 over secant theta. So I could plug in the 3/4 there and work it out to find the secant of theta, but it would be better to look at the identity of secant of theta equals 1 over cosine theta. Well, 1 over cosine theta then is 1 over 3/4 or 4/3. And so we've used it really in that way before as we've looked at our trigonometry. A little different use here in example B, as we look at, we know a value for secant and a value for tangent, but we want to find a value for sine. And so we're going to start that off by thinking, well, what does it mean that secant theta is 5/4? Well, I know that 1 over secant is cosine, okay, because of the reciprocal identity. And I know from the quotient identities that tangent of x is sine x over cosine x. Well, how is that helpful? Well, because we know the cosine of x is 1 over secant, we can take that out and replace the cosine with 1 over secant. So making a substitution there. So now we have that tangent of x is sine of x over 1 over secant of x. But we know the secant and we know the tangent. So we can take out tangent and put in its place 3/4. Scroll back up a little bit here. And we can take out the secant and put in its place, we put in the place of the secant the 5/4. So now we have an expression where we know all of the values except sine. So we can take that and finish solving for the sine of x. So we have 3/4 equals the sine of x over 4/5. And multiplying both sides by 4/5 then, we get that the sine of x is, cancel the 4s, 3/5.